Yes. Welcome back to another stream. I'm very zoomed in. Yes. How are y'all doing? Welcome back. Back with another transfer stream. Transfer news still popping, which is very, very good. It means that we have loads to talk about and a lot of content for you. And today, there's Calvin Phillips news and more Kovacic news, which is obviously always good to talk about because there's one incoming, one outgoing. Well, first, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you always know that when me and LB are going live. If you want to go one step further, link to the Xtra Club is in the description. And you can help support the channel directly, help keep me and LB in a job. First thing first, I just seen, I said that twice now, I just seen in the chat someone saying about fixtures.
Oh yeah, Premier League fixtures are up soon, isn't it?
This week, maybe?
Yeah, I think it is actually this week, man.
That's good, that. Buzzing. That's exciting.
Tomorrow.
We'll have to do a stream. Yeah. I wonder when is there a way to find out when 9 a.m?
9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
We should do like a thing, innit? A reaction.
A reaction stream,
Yeah, like straight away. That'd be sick. Yeah, so we'll have that for you tomorrow because that'd be mint. Buzzing. It's one of the things, innit, where you can just go through, find the key games where it's going to build up and that. See if we're home on the last day of the season and that. Do it every year. There are rumours that someone's leaked the fixtures, but people do that all the time, and a lot of the time it's wrong. What are clothes, JP? Hey, don't be hating on my clothes. This is Boohoo Man with a Boohoo plan. I mean, you can't be slating the Boohoo plans. Right, where do we start? Kovacic or Phillips? Which way do you want to go?
Calvin Phillips. Daily Mail reporting that Manchester City are willing to listen to offers for Calvin Phillips. However, Calvin Phillips reportedly wants to stay and fight for his position at Manchester City.
Yeah, so I back it, a bit like Joe Zinchenko stayed. I do back it. I think it's good fight from the players. It's good fight from the players. Obviously from Calvin Phillips there, wanted to stay, wanted to prove himself. But are City going to give him that chance? Is a different question, because if City are open and willing to listen to offers for him, I guess there's nothing that he can really do. But I guess if he's saying he wants to stay and stuff, it's one less headache for us.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it's only a headache, but we've got to decide whether or not this guy is good enough. He's played 593 minutes for City this season, so nothing basically. Played 290 minutes in the Premier League, 161 minutes in the FA Cup, 39 minutes in the Champions League, and 103 minutes in the Carabao Cup. So he's hardly played any football really. The question is, based on what we've seen this season, do you think there is potential? Do you think there's a potential that this guy can be the backup to Rodri? Can this guy gain the trust of Pep Guardiola? Because let's be honest, Pep Guardiola didn't trust him. Otherwise, he would have played him more towards the end of the season, when we're a couple of goals up, bring him off the bench for 30 minutes. Very rarely that happened, as proved by the numbers. Do we think that is good enough? And if the answer to that is no, you have to let him leave. Regardless of how bad you might feel about him, you got to let him leave.
Yeah. I don't know where I sit with Calvin Phillips right now, because it's just it's disappointing. It's proper disappointing, because when we signed him, I was gassed, and I know you was a bit more unsure about the signing. I was a bit more leaning towards he'll do bits. I don't know. I just think, personally, I think there's better clubs for him, because where he'll get more game time. Now, next year, obviously, we'll still have Rodri as our main man. He has had 1 full year of it, so I guess from City's perspective, they could be looking at going, this guy's had a full year of it, so maybe it's just going to take him a little bit longer to get into it, but then rather than going and get someone else who might then need another year to get into it. Calvin Phillips has already had that 1 year learning how to train with Pep, things like that. And if he wants to prove himself, he might be dialed in for it. It's just, like you say, it's if you think he's good enough or not. Now, I still think he could do a job at City. I think he could do a job. I think if he went and left this summer, I think we would have we would have just missed out. Basically, we missed out on what he could have offered us. But it's hard, isn't it? It's a hard call. It's one of them ones where it's nice him being here, and I'd like him to do bits, but that's no guarantee that he's going to.
Yeah, and he has had a year, but he's not played, so he's not had the opportunity. And someone said then in the chat, we give Grealish time. Yeah, but the difference with Grealish is Grealish played last year. Grealish actually played minutes, so he understood as the year went on what Pep wanted. Phillips doesn't understand that yet because he's not played. He's played 600 minutes, so you can't understand fully where Pep wants you to be, how you want to play, because you've got to play minutes, so then you can come off the pitch, and then Pep can be like, right, you did that well, but you didn't do that well. Review the footage. You've not had that, so we could be in a situation where next year is technically like his first year because he's hardly played. And, Kovacic coming in. Kovacic has played as a 6. I doubt that he can fully play in the 6. I'm not a massive fan of Kovacic in the 6 myself, but he can play there. He has played there in the past. And is it that City are maybe getting Kovacic in and going, if Pep thinks to himself, I'd rather play Kovacic as the 6 than Phillips. Phillips don't have a future and he'll have to leave. But it all just depends on Pep Guardiola, really. He's the one who will probably decide this transfer. Because if he wants Phillips to stay, if he thinks Phillips can do it, and he thinks that Phillips is above Kovacic in that centre defensive midfield position, Phillips will probably end up staying. But if he doesn't, then there'll be people bidding for him because City won't lose a lot of money on this. You'll get 30 million for him still.
Yeah, I think, and like teams like West Ham and that, I think it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect for him. So that's where in my head when I say that there are probably better teams out there, I just feel like he would get full game time at different clubs. Now, like I say, it is pretty mad. He's not played a lot of football, so we don't really know. But like I say, I do think this is all down to Pep and what Pep wants to do with him. I think it's the right attitude from Phillips, though. It's a very, very good attitude to have, to want to stay and back himself. However, it's down to Pep. Pep in the club to sort this out. Julian Alvarez season. Yes, with a 3 month says, yes, watching from school. Big up the City Extra boys. Yes, Julian Alvarez. Big up, man. Darcy with a 5. By the way, do you remember in school when people used to put like earphones down the sleeve, bro? Do you remember that? You could put an earphone down your blazer sleeve and then you could just lean on your blazer like that and listen to something, innit? Darcy with a 5. Yes, Darcy says, hearing Gvardiol deal is getting closer to. Yeah, there are some good reports surrounding Gvardiol as well, which is good. Which obviously there's just so much to talk about. Obeid's come in with $200 AED. Yes,
what?
Obeid. Yes,
the chat,
bro.
man.
Big up, man. Get some W's in that chat for Obeid. He says, we got Guardiola, and then he also says, City signed Sane, bre. Well, we've had a lot of conversations about Sane recently, and I genuinely think he's the one. I think he's the one that this summer we need to be going and getting. We're looking at wingers. That's the closest we've got to Sane yet. No, he's not been name dropped Sane, but we're looking. We're looking for wingers. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a Sane link. Yes, babe. Massively appreciate it. Hope you've had a good weekend, bro. I like that, Paul. Paul in the chat there that LB's put in, would you sell Phillips or keep? It's an interesting one where people's heads are on it. Because he has the attitude is right, but is he going to be able to show that quality? And the thing is with Calvin Phillips, he knows his place. He knows that he is a backup to Rodri,
and that's good. But you also need to have quality.
Yeah, you need to be competent enough to actually come in for Rodri, or else there's no point having you at all.
Yeah. Now I'll be happy on the bench. I'll have the right attitude. I'll be happy sitting on the bench. Don't mean that's the right thing, innit?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, bro, you can sit me on that bench and I'll be Rodri's backup, innit? But the actual quality, you couldn't put me on that pitch.
That's it.
We've had a lot of rumours on this. We've had rumours saying that City are open to, like you say, selling Calvin Phillips this summer and all listening to offers for Calvin Phillips, which again doesn't look good for Phillips. And then you've got rumours of us being interested in players like Joshua Kimmich, which definitely doesn't look good for Phillips. If we go sign someone like Joshua Kimmich, bro, Phillips' career is done at City. There's absolutely no chance. He then becomes third choice. And he couldn't even get in the team when he was second choice.
Yeah, no, it's a madness. And like I say, I just think it's down to Pep Guardiola. I think Pep Guardiola will sit down with the board and they will ask him, what do you rate Phillips? And if the answer to that is, nah, he'll be gone. He'll be gone. If he thinks that maybe he can give him a little bit more time, then yeah, maybe he'll stay. I mean, facts are that we did only sign him last year, and I assume that Pep Guardiola was happy with the signing. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Tiki don't just sign players and Pep has no say. So I assume that Pep was happy with the Phillips signing. So maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll give him a bit more time. And look, I'll just say this. I never really rated the guy anyway. You know what I mean? I always thought he was overrated personally. Never really rated him at Leeds. And I wasn't over the moon with the signing anyway. So that does sort of put me like in that sort of situation where I'm not asked if he goes. I'll happily for him to go because I'm not gassed about him anyway. However, at the same time, he did have a tricky time. He come in, got injured in that friendly straight away, and from there it's been a rip. So maybe if he has a proper pre-season, maybe he can get in and he can impress. But you know, the facts are he come back from the World Cup overweight. That was not good. And he couldn't even get on for like 15, 20 minutes at the end of games where we were like 2-0 up. So
when he didn't start against like Sheffield, you knew something ain't right. Well, Sheffield, didn't it, where he didn't start?
Sheffield United, yeah.
It was like, right, what?
So for me, I'm not asked, like, if City get a bid for 30 million, I'll accept it based on the fact that we go and get someone else.
As long as we go and get someone else, I'm happy for it. I am happy for it. But it's just like, it's a shame, isn't it, man? It's a shame because I wanted Calvin Phillips to do well. That's it. Yeah, Shares Italian Stallion says, I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of James McAtee, but word going around is he's staying with City next season. So what do we think? Can he play in midfield for the Pep team? Can he reach his potential? Now, on that, I just checked that. And Craig Hope has been dropping a little bit of bombazos. He's come out and said that Pep wants James McAtee to be a part of his City first team squad next season. And the club are going to resist loan offers this summer. They want to give James McAtee an opportunity to develop alongside Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. And he's also in line for a new contract. So it's good for James McAtee. Obviously, it's one of the ones where we didn't really know where it was going to be. But I thought he'd get loaned out to Sheffield again, personally. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. See what happens with that one. But if he stays, I'm buzzing for him.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely buzzing for him. Darcy with a 5 says, my issue with Phillips is that his physical profile isn't even remotely similar to Rodri. He's pretty small for a defensive mid.
And he's also slow.
Yeah, the guy went fast, isn't it?
He's slow. I think he can be physical because he's quite a stocky guy. So I think he can get stuck in. And he does get stuck slow.
In.
That's the thing for me. But let's see. Like I say, if he stays or he goes, I think it will be down to Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola will have to say on that. So whatever we think, whatever you guys in the chat think about Phillips, if he stays, it's probably because Pep Guardiola wants him to stay. Because there will be clubs out there willing to spend 30 million quid on Phillips, and I think City would let him leave for 30 million. So
the thing is, if West Ham get rid of Rice, if I were West Ham, bro, I'd go in straight for Thingy, straight for Phillips.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But whatever happens with that one, Pep Guardiola will probably be the deciding factor. We've also had a little bit more news on the Kovacic deal. Kovacic is looking like this is gonna happen. I mean, this is pretty confident.
It's just getting closer, isn't it? Like every day.
So again, Daily Mail reporting that Mateo Kovacic is expecting Manchester City to agree a fee for his transfer from Chelsea in the coming days. So from everything that we're hearing now on Kovacic, it sounds like this is literally going to happen. Well, obviously that says in the coming days. It sounds like it could happen maybe this week, maybe sometime early next week. Sounds like it's a done deal because apparently the personal terms are all agreed. He wants to join City. It's just a case of how much of City willing to spend for him. And I think 30 million, something like that. And Chelsea obviously need to sell, so could be a
defo gets him. And I think that's a bargain for this squad. 35 million. I think that's mint. He's 29 years old with all the experience that he's got. I think it's a very, very good signing. Just for continue on that, Obeyed with the 25 said a treble and Sane. Pinch me, I'm dreaming. You have a fitted with Sane. And Darcy. Oh yeah, you read the Darcy one. I'll just make sure we didn't miss the Obeyed one as we continue with the Kovacic stuff. Yeah, I've seen Cade in the chat there says if Kovacic comes, Gondo is leaving. I don't think that's the case. I think Kovacic and Gondo would rotate in that spot.
Yeah.
Kovacic coming doesn't guarantee that Gundo leaves. Gundo might leave, but Kovacic coming doesn't guarantee that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't guarantee it.
I genuinely, I think it's a really, really good signing for City. We've said this loads of times, and it's one of them ones that just flip flops. There's a lot of fans who seem like Pickett is too old, or like they don't want him. There's better midfielders out there, but for the price that you're going to get him for and the experience, it's hard to find someone with that experience for that price. The guy and Prem proven. I think he'd literally just fit right in. And I know we said the same thing. Obviously, Calvin Phillips in that, yeah, but. I think Kovacic, the way he plays, he can just do the same stuff he did at Chelsea at City. Like, I don't think he has to change up too much.
Kovacic is a great player, man, and yeah, I think coming in, it gives us a little bit more security in that midfield. He can play as a 6. Like I say, it's not a position that I really want to see him in, but he's played there before, so he knows the role. I don't think that will be where he plays football. It will be in the sort of Gundogan position, and it gives us experience in the Champions League, experience in the Premier League. And he's just a good player. He's just a good, solid player. And, remember, guys, we're going for 7 trophies next season. You know what I mean? It's going to be hectic. It's going to be a match every 3 days. It's going to be mad. So we need to build that squad. We have to build the squad up. So getting Kovacic and an experienced pro, brilliant. Really is.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very, very good move. Roberto with a 5 says, got to keep Phillips, my boys, a good vibe in a locker room and will come good this season, says Roberto. I rate that you back your boy. And if he does stay, I hope he does come good. I mean, always back the players. Anthony Ladolfi says, I just want to get the players in right now. I just want to get the players signing now and then we can go into pre-season. City will be doing their best to do that. They'll be doing their best to get every single deal done before that pre-season starts because they'll want every player to get as much from a pre-season before we go into the Premier League again. So that's why I think this Kovacic deal could get done this week. You could see your first City signing of the summer this week. That's crazy because the transfer window is officially open today as well, isn't it? So
today officially open today.
So there's nothing stopping us really. Things can get done straight away. BR, yes, with a rejoin of the Xtra Club. Yes, BR. Italian's dying with a 13-month says, is Bernardo 100% gone? Because come on, Bernardo, going from City to PSG is a massive downgrade, especially if Mbappe leaves. Want him to think hardly. And now, I seen something today saying that Bernardo's still a little bit hesitant on joining PSG. He's kind of waiting on that offer from Spain that is just not coming. And the option, obviously, of extending with City is still on the table for him.
Yeah.
But I personally think he's going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, we think he's going to leave, but we thought he was going to leave last year. He didn't leave. Thought he was going to leave that before that. Didn't leave. So
there's no
someone needs to pay the cash. Someone has to pay the cash. There ain't no one in Spain that's going to pay the money. So the only option is PSG. Yeah. No one in Spain's got the cash. So the only team that can do it is PSG. So if he wants to leave that badly, he's going to have to go to PSG, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Be interested to see the way that the Bernardo situation goes. Obviously, that's another one. This summer's so hectic. It's so hectic with incomings and outgoings. It's crazy. There is a little bit more news that's come out today as well, bro. Which we can touch on now, and then we can decide if we want to do a video on it in a bit. But then, Cole Palmer apparently allowed to leave City this summer. Most likely on loan. The disappointment, he didn't impress as much as was expected this season. It's hoped a loan move will see him return more hardened to senior football. That's from Craig Hope again.
Well, the reason he didn't perform is because they didn't play him in the right position. He played 9 minutes in his proper position all season. That's why he didn't perform. Don't take a rocket scientist. He's not a left winger. He's not a midfielder. He's a right winger. Don't play him right wing. Performance won't be.
You don't play Mara's left wing, innit?
Exactly. So, a little bit disappointing there for Cole Palmer because I was hoping that he was going to have a good season, but not his fault in my view because he's not been played in the correct position. Low move is probably the right thing for his career right now. Go out somewhere, play right wing for a full season, and let him cook.
Where would you put him, bro? Maybe somewhere at Burnley.
I don't know. I think you got to play matches, man. He's got to play matches. So
Sheffield?
would a Premier League team? Would he get in a Premier League starting team week in, week out? That's the question. Or does he need to go down to the Championship? Going down to the Championship is not the end of the world. Look at James McAtee. He smashed it there. And now potentially he's going to be in the first team. So just somewhere that he's going to play, whether that be a Premier League or whether that be in the Championship. He needs to go somewhere that he's going to play week in, week out. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, interesting to see what happens with him. Mancunian way, yes, Martin with a 5. Actually met with a mate of mine on the day of the parade. Actually, it was with Patrick Holly. Yes, Martin. Good to see you, mate. It says, my thing with Bernardo is simple. If we sell, has to be now. We can't allow a free. Sell or extend for me. We can't keep doing this every window.
Yeah, but to sell, you got to get the bid, Martin. That's what you've always said. If the bid comes in, he will be sold. But if you don't want to sign a new contract and no one bids for him, what are you going to do? So he probably will end up leaving on a free. You can't sell him unless someone bids in it. So if no one bids for him this summer, or he don't want to go to PSG, he'll stay at City. He's got 2 years left of his contract. We'll go through the whole situation again next summer. And then if no one bids for him again, he will then go on a free transfer. But even if he does go on a free transfer, right, in 2 years' time, you get an extra 2 years' time. He's had, 6 or 7 years at City. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world if he stays for an extra 2 years.
I just want to know what's going on in it. Why go on?
Yeah. So the only club that can buy him, in my view, now is PSG. No one else is going to buy him.
I think PSG, and I think they will. I think they'll proper go for it, man. I think they'll proper go, especially after the potential of losing Mbappe in this window. Well, you think they would 100% lose Mbappe in this window, and then, Messi leaving. I just think it makes sense. He could go there and play right wing for PSG. Yeah, he'd rip it up as well.
Yeah, it did very well, and that's what they need. So, yeah, will we get a bid from PSG? That's the question. Will PSG bid for him?
He just has this obsession with Spain, doesn't he? He's got this obsession to go in Spain because he wants that nice weather. I mean, look at the weather outside, mate. It's sweating here. But then it did rain, like a torrential rain the other day, so I can kind of see why he wants to go. But I don't know, man. I personally think he'll go this window, and I think he'll go to PSG. I mean, you had Jack Grealish telling him, innit, please don't go.
Yeah, I think he'll go.
I think he'll go. Rainey's nice, as Jay Stark. It was for us who like it. Like, I mean, not for Bernardo. Yeah. So obviously the news today, the big news today, obviously that Cole Palmer stuff coming out then, but Kovacic is getting closer, which is very, very good. Could see a lot more on that this week. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be doing a stream straight away as soon as that Donny signs, and I imagine it'll get done very, very quickly. Don't expect me and LB to fly to Croatia or something for the announcement video though, because we ain't going doing that. And Phillips, obviously, City kind of open to offers coming in for Phillips. I kind of have like an extra connection with Phillips because he poured champagne in our mouth, bro. I feel like he's one of the boys, isn't it? Like, so I wish someone got a picture of that. Me and you, arms out, and Karen Phillips, bottle of champagne in them. That would have been sick. Apparently, we're on TV, bro. Did I say this yesterday?
Yeah, he told us.
Yeah, well, Steve told me this morning that we were. He couldn't see himself, but he could see us. God knows. Mad. Phillips, the City extra confirmed. Get him in a 5-a-side. That's probably all we could do, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I guess we'll keep the transfer streams coming. Obviously, a big stream tomorrow. We've got the thing, haven't we? The fixtures get released tomorrow, so we can get that. Get our reaction to that. We can go through the different games and see where they are. It's always good looking for where the derby is, things like that. See where I go on with that. And then other than that, there'll just be transfer streams because there's loads of transfer news. Like we're not even covered it all today. There's still Gvardiol stuff to talk about, Gundo stuff to talk about. There's loads.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. Anything else, bro?
No, I think that's pretty much it for now. Yeah, pretty much it.
Only for now, though, isn't it? Only for now. We're never too far. Erlington says, have you lads seen the thread written by Football Report? Class thread, you should have a look at it. I'll have a look. Also Mahrez news. Mahrez news as well. There's Mahrez news to talk about. But yeah, we'll do that in a different stream. Massively appreciate it. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you're watching this back on a replay, comment below. Do you want to see Calvin Phillips at City next season or nah? And also Kovacic, let us know your thoughts on him. 30-35 million, is that too much? I've seen people saying before in the chat that they didn't like the price. But yeah, we'll wait and see. And until the next one, we'll see you in a bit.
In a bit.